so needy. You gotta find your niche. Sometimes life's a bitch. You better move ahead. That's what my mama said. But it ain't too hard if you're trying to please me. Ain't too hard, but it's so damn easy. Ain't too hard, you know. Such a simple thing.
The first thing I remember about the Palomino is going there before I even performed there, and just hanging out after hours, and the guys, you know, we would do a show and we'd come into the town, go back home, and we would stop and you know, throw a cold one back and check out the last act if our show ended up a little bit earlier. So that was really fun getting to know it, and I lived real close by the Palomino, so I always hung around there every once in a while and checked out the scene. But actually to play there was a lot of fun. It definitely had its own atmosphere, its own charisma. And so when I got a chance to play there, you know, with my act, it was a lot of fun. Although we were doing blues, especially the last night, it was fun, a lot of fun. Actually, we mixed it up. We did traditional blues, a little bit of country blues. Yeah, we did some Muddy Waters, some swing, and some B.B. King, and then some of my own originals. And back in '95, the year that it closed, there was a really good blues explosion. You know, at that time when it was winding down, decided they would want to do some promotion other than country western. So that's basically how I came into the picture. And plus, I was promoting my new record. So it was great. It was great to play there. It was a lot of. And I think what they were trying to do is to promote other kinds of music, and a lot of the venues back then were coming to be like House of Blues and B.B. King's up in Universal City Walk, and I think that the Palomino wanted to cash in on that scene, and they thought it would be different. And Sherry Thomas hired a promoter to come in and do some promotion, and one of the things that he liked was the blues, and so they put in a package show. We had 3 acts that night, and we did a lot of advertising and promotion, and actually it was a real good night. It was a lot of fun, had a good turnout. It was a lot of fun to be in that back of that green room. I think at that time, you know, there was a big market for the blues, and that's why these places like the House of Blues came, and B.B. King's. And I think at that time there we had like Stevie Ray Vaughan was really on the scene. He was eating up the charts with his music, and so there was just a lot of music in the blues and a lot of clubs. There were 2 of them opened up in '95 as well. There was Cozy's in Studio City, and then there was Smokin' Johnny's over in, I believe, that's Studio City as well. So I mean, there was just a whole market for that kind of music. And to tell you the truth, you know, blues is not that far from country. You know, it's all roots music. I think it's all interrelated. It's all really stems from roots music. And Domino played there. Yeah, that style of music. We actually did that style of music. I don't think they had too many R&B acts until later on in the '80s when they started venturing out and doing different stuff. Surf music. They didn't have any real national acts come in, or regional acts that came in. They were mostly local players playing, having a chance to play at a different venue or club other than the clubs that were already there or started in the mid-'90s. And I think what's kind of magical about at the Palomino is that they were at least open to hear other kinds of music, because for such a long time it was always subject to just country western. So it was really nice to be able to have them open their doors for my kind of music. Yeah, like the blues acts at the time. Ronnie Mack kept the Palomino going with his weekly barn dances, and I think because, you know, closing of the '80s, and I think he did it from the late '80s till the mid. She ran blues barbecues on Sundays, so I remember that, and that lasted probably about a year, maybe about a year and a half. And I think that is why they got interested in promoting blues other than on that Sunday. They thought that they could maybe pull in some revenue. And our show, when we did our blues night, was on a Saturday. I don't think they've ever done that. I mean, who's going to tell somebody like George Harrison or Bob Dylan you can't sit in tonight?
No, nobody.
I really do think it's when Tommy passed away, and then it was turned over to his son Billy. I think Billy did, tried his best, but I think it's like, you can follow in someone's own, footsteps for so long, and it lost its magic. I mean, you didn't have Tommy there, keeping it alive. That he's, that spirit. And I think after Tommy and then Billy giving it a good shot, and then Sherry eventually taking over at the helm. It's just like anything. A good thing can only last for so long. But at least they ended with the blues. We did some off of our album that we had just came out that year. In fact, the album was out in April '95. And our show there, the last show of the Palomino period, was August 5th. And the songs that we were doing, everything from Hendrix to B.B. King, and then our own originals. At that time, I put my first CD out, and that was Bolt from the Blue on Smokestack Records. And then I just released another one this year of '99, and that's a Barbed Wire himself. Soon to be in every local record store, or you can order this on www.jimmyo.com. No, it's just someone I let handle and hold my guitar, which I never let anybody do. Bolt from the Blue is my first, this is my second.
Living for the good time. Well, I like my wheeling horse when my engine's running cool. The road is behind on the freeway. I'm a flash in the sky. Got you under my spell. See the bright moonlight. We're gonna raise a little hell. Alright. Living for the good time. Living for the good time. Well, I paint the sky blue when I see it turn gray, and live for that taste. Oh, let's see paradise. Get in the groove.